What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Oh. Where everything is so shiny. Welcome to the Shiny MG Show, Shady Groove.
Welcome to you, my friend. Welcome to all of the great patriots out there that are now starting to see the fruits of our labor. I am so excited to come on the air every day and talk to you all about the great things that are happening in my country. For the first time in my life, I have an amazingly positive outlook on the future, and I know that it is because America is going to exist in the future. Before Donald Trump, you could clearly see that they were trying to get rid of America. And today, part of the topic that we're going to be discussing about crime and why crime is the way crime is, well, that's part of the plan to destroy America to begin with. And boy, oh boy, are we grabbing grabbing it by its tail and straightening things out right now.
Yeah, we've got, that horrific attack on was it Charlotte, Shady Groove? Charlotte, North Carolina subway system.
It was the rail. It was a bus.
It was a bus. Okay, gotcha. Horrific, guys. And they're saying that it's because it's racism. No, it's not because of racism. Like, they're trying to say that we're pointing it out because we're racist. No, we don't like criminals. I don't care what color you are, okay? What religion you are. I don't give a shit about any of that, guys. I'm sorry. If you're a criminal, you're a criminal. This person was released 14 times back into society. He is absolutely deranged. He absolutely needs mental help. He needs to be, held accountable for his other crimes, but yet he was allowed to commit 14 others, 15 now, by stabbing a beautiful person that came in here legally from Ukraine. And by the way, she was a Black Lives Matter fan. Did you know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep. She had posts on her social media that had supported Black Lives Matter and a number of the other Democrat talking points as well. And it should be proof positive, because you're noticing you don't see any of the people with the Ukraine flags in their bio coming to her defense. Are you noticing that? Like, why? Why not? All the people that have got Ukraine on their, their signs outside of their houses or whatever, are those the people that are the largest voices to stand up for her? Because the reality is what you're saying is accurate. It doesn't matter what the criminal looks like, guys. I'm so sick of this. They've been doing this to you. It doesn't matter. The criminal will look like a criminal always, because they're the criminal, the person that has done something. They're being accused. Is this America? Yes. Are they innocent until proven guilty? Yes. But are they being charged with a crime? And is there evidence that shows that they are a criminal? Yes. And so that is the needle that they refuse to thread, guys. It's not that hard to thread the needle, but they're refusing to thread it. Makes other people think that for some reason the needle is not able to be threaded.
Yeah. President Trump posted about it. I've seen the horrific video of a beautiful young Ukrainian refugee who came to America to escape the vicious war in Ukraine and was innocently riding the metro in Charlotte, North Carolina, where she was brutally ambushed by a mentally deranged lunatic. The perpetrator was a well-known career criminal who had been previously arrested and released on cashless bail in January, a total of 14 times. What the hell was he doing riding the train and walking the streets? Criminals like this need to be locked up. The blood of this innocent woman can literally be seen dripping from the killer's knife. And now her blood is on the hands of the Democrats who refuse to put bad people in jail, including former disgraced governor and wannabe Senator Roy Cooper. North Carolina and every state needs law and order, and only Republicans will deliver it. Additionally, where is the outrage from the mainstream media on this horrible tragedy? Vote for Michael Whatley for the United States Senate. He won't let this happen again.
Crime is crime. Criminals are criminals. This was something that was so understood. Are you understanding now how we've been watching for the last 20 years or so, the psychological operations against us, how they have been able to liquefy your reality? You know, it wasn't hard to choose or decide what a criminal was in 2000, but now here 25 years later, like there's this big discrepancy. Oh, well, you can't. You know, Jasmine Crockett is out there literally saying on camera that cops are not there to prevent crime. If the cops aren't there to prevent the crime, then what are you? What kind of place in society do police have to you? Like, you've got to think like these people. They're communists. Remember, they're communists. The core of this is communism. The core of this is, like, think about it like in the analogy of Batman and the bad guys, guys. Batman and the bad guys. That's what literally what you're watching. The bad guys want to control the politicians, and the bad guys want to control the territory within the city. And what is Batman doing? He's trying to clean up the crime. And why is everybody fighting Batman? Why does nobody want Batman to win except for the people? The politicians didn't want Batman to win. Do you remember that? The politicians were always in bed with the criminals and doing the bidding of the criminals. If you paid attention to any movie, you understand that that's the dynamic. But for some reason, the communist media can't see it.
So, Real Iron Eagle, it's boom time. Thank you, $17 Rumble Rant. Well said, JD. Kimmy Mack, 5 subscriptions to the MG Show. Thank you. Nora Hathson, another 1 subscription as well. Thank you, guys. And, you know, again, that begs to question, Shady Groove, and this is a great question. Why are Democrats rooting against America?
Exactly.
Why? This is a great question. Okay, to my Democrat friends on Facebook, why are you rooting against America? Are you knowingly rooting against America, or are you like believing their bullshit?
It's just like do whatever the opposite of what Trump says, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how we've backed him into this corner? Yeah. Because Trump comes out and does the issue that's like 97-3. Okay, nobody wants females in trans men in female sports. And they light their hair on fire. You say, no, you can't have illegal immigrants coming across the border in mass. They argue, no, you can't give Social Security to illegal immigrants. They argue, you have to put criminals in prison. They argue you. Like, where are you? Can they show us maybe one example when they're like arguing for a position that would benefit the country as a whole?
No.
I don't think they do.
They got nothing.
Check
this out. Here's President Trump.
I just give my love and hope to the family of the young woman who was stabbed this morning or last night in Charlotte by a madman, a lunatic. Just got up and started. It's right on the tape. Not really watchable because it's so horrible, but just viciously stabbed. She's just sitting there. So they're evil people. We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country. We don't handle that. We don't have a country. Do you not understand that?
So clear, because it's true. What do you have? You know, your country, the reason that you have a country is because you are under the law of the country. If people aren't obeying the law of the country, like, okay, we understand people are going to break the law. We understand that. But this guy specifically, I mean, if you want to dig in another layer, this guy was taking psychotropic drugs. He had been taking psychotropic drugs. They had released this dude like 10 or 15 times or however many, 14 times. He was like looking for help. You guys, the mentality of a person who is psychotic wants to be fed. They want to be taken care of. They feel like society is doing them a disservice whenever they find themselves alone on the street at night. They get desperate. People are seeing winter approaching. If you're a criminal and you're on the street in the South, you would much rather be in prison than on the streets, guys. So they commit crimes to get put back in prison, and
they don't get put in prison.
So they'll get put in prison, exactly. And
but they don't get put in prison. That's the problem.
They keep releasing them. Exactly right.
Yeah.
What is going on? What is going on is that the Democrats are controlling territory with criminals. That's what's going on.
Yeah. Now, Axios said the stabbing video fuels MAGA's crime message. What?
Look at the way they characterize that.
Look at this. Fuels MAGA's crime message. Okay? Yeah. She's fueling our message. Or was she brutally attacked by somebody? And it doesn't matter what color they are, okay? She was stabbed in the frickin' neck. MAGA influencers are drawing repeated attention to violent attacks to elevate the issue of urban crime. No, to show you the issue of urban. It's an issue, okay? And accuse mainstream media of undercovering shock cases. Well, it's true. They did not cover it.
Maybe we could go ask those 25 people that were killed in the last 4 weeks in Chicago. Oh, wait.
No, you can't ask them.
We can't ask them because they're dead.
Yeah. Also commenting on ex-White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, Trump confidant Charlie Kirk. He's not a confidant. He's just the frickin' influencer. Senator Mike Lee and Transportation Secretary Duffy. Oh, God, help. Wow, we're showing something that you don't want shown because it doesn't fit your narrative. That person was in an orange sweatshirt. Did he have a red hat? Was it MAGA? Oh, my God. You know, you guys are insane, okay? You needed to create January 6th to make MAGA look violent. We are not violent. We are law and order, okay? I don't care who you are, what religion, what color. I don't give a crap about any of that. If you break the law, equal justice under the law is just that. Equal justice under the law.
MAGA is the most law and order oriented political party in history. And I can make that argument. I can make that argument 6 ways to Sunday about how MAGA, Donald Trump's movement, has been more realistically aligned with what is the Constitution than any other political party, including Republicans. If you go down the line, go back and take a look at your 2001 Republican Party, guys. It was completely inundated with absolute retarded neocons from top to bottom. Like the only thing that they could see, like they saw red and they saw war. Like that's all they saw. They saw their pocketbook increase due to the funding coming in from the war machine that George Bush was getting ready to levy on destroying the Middle East. That was your Republican Party 24 years ago. And today you're sitting here with a Republican Party that literally, I mean, we're going to talk to you. You had the post up about all the cases that we've won in court. How could MAGA be winning this many cases in court if we weren't the most law-abiding party out there?
I didn't pull that up yet.
No, you didn't pull it up yet. I'm just saying I know that it's out there in the
Jumping ahead. Yeah, we're going to cover that too, because that's part of this. Exactly right, Shady. But look at this. George Floyd, 74,221 results.
That's crazy.
Irina Zaruska, 0.
And it's been 4 days since this happened? 3-4 days. Still not an article.
Well, I don't know if there's articles now, I bet.
There is now, but that was taken yesterday morning, I believe.
Correct, yesterday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what I'm just saying is like, you know, this is not politically motivated. It's politically motivated to the fact that she had to seek refuge from Ukraine for the bullshit war.
Yeah, because she was probably going to get thrown into the machine somewhere.
Crazy, guys. And CNN is so upset. Now listen to this, and then he backpedals, Shady. Check this out. Yeah.
Most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's garnered attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, first and foremost, the recent release of that gruesome video. Second, the energy from pro-Trump activists. They picked up on this video from local news and ran with it. It's a little bit like the times when civil rights groups have raised attention about police-involved shootings. In this case, it is Trump-aligned influencers who are posting up a storm about this case on social media. Really, over the weekend, Elon Musk, Charlie Kirk, other Trump-aligned figures succeeded in making this senseless death a symbol of big city crime. We heard President Trump asked about it yesterday when he was heading home from New York City. He didn't seem to know much about it. He said he would get briefed, and then today Trump did know all about it. That's exactly what has happened here. This story has trickled up from local news to social media and now to the president's attention, and it's being used, as you said, Brianna, as a political symbol, with MAGA media calling for more forceful punishments and more incarceration. I have to say, some of the replies to Musk, some of the comments around this story are baldly racist, stoking fear of African Americans because this man attacked a white woman. The open racism on sites like X today, it's eye-popping. But there are also legitimate questions about this so-called career criminal, someone who had been a repeat offender. And those questions, I hope they're not lost amid all of the cesspool kind of comments on social media.
You see how he recovered, Shady? Isn't that weird how he recovered all that, saying we do need to look at this, you bald guy. Baldly racist? You're baldly assholeist.
Stoking fear. This is
fear?
This is where you've got to be able to use your ears to pick up on things. Whenever you hear somebody say stoking fear, your ears should perk up and you should say, "Oh my God, that's dog whistle." That's a dog whistle right there, because what you're basically saying is you're trying to police speech. Okay, stoking fear. No, you're not stoking fear by talking about something that happened. You're not stoking fear by talking about who really was, behind any criminal activity. Remember in 9/11, they told us we were stoking fear if we talked about the people that were of Middle Eastern descent in the wrong way, right? Yeah. We're stoking fear. But meanwhile, it was our intelligence agencies that were doing the op. And now if I talk about certain intelligence agents out there that are out there running ops on everybody, psychological, it's stoking fear. Notice they will use the same terminology. Oh, it's hate. I don't hate anyone. There's no one saying that I hate certain someones is much like saying that I hate Bill Clinton. There you go, Bill. Hey, Bill.
Hey.
I don't hate you, Bill.
Did you see my letter to Jeffrey Epstein?
I did. I know you're corrupt.
Yeah.
But I don't hate you.
Well, thank you, Shady.
You're welcome.
We can cover that too a little bit later, but now they're all worried about this fake signature with Donald and this stupid picture that it's so ridiculous and silly that I can't see Donald Trump drawing a picture like that.
He's not drawing any picture.
Come on.
It's so stupid, man. It's written by an Axios reporter, I think.
So 6 people were murdered in Chicago this weekend. That's not racist. That's 6 people. Okay? They bleed red just like you and me, whoever they are. But 6 people were murdered in Chicago, okay? 12 others were shot and in serious condition. You times that by the week before that, the week before that, the week before that, send them in. Operation Midway, Shady Grove.
Midway Blitz.
Midway Blitz. I love it. And it looks like they got some guy that's a child rapist, 13-year-old child rapist they've already got. Why are they protecting these people, Shady?
And it's interesting, too, Jeff. There's a number of times. Did you see the video with the large black guy that was on there and he was talking about, he was acting like the media was acting like he was threatening to stop the National Guard? That guy came out yesterday. He's like, they just took my video and spun it like I'm saying. No, he's like, that's not what I'm saying at all. He's like, I'm not trying to threaten the National Guard. He's like, what I'm saying is that these gangs are deeply embedded in the center city. And if the National Guard comes in there, they think that they can stand up to the National Guard. That's all I was saying. And the media took my video and completely mischaracterized what I meant by what I said.
Yeah, they said that we're going to fight, basically
yeah,
made it look like.
He's like, I'm not. He's like,
there's over 500 gangs or something like that in Chicago, and we're going to take them all on.
Yeah, that's not what he was saying. And it's interesting because he's like, so look at the way that what you're going to consistently see is the media is the one doing the fear stoking. Do you see that? What Stelter is doing, he's saying, oh, they're stoking, but he is stoking the fear. They've always been stoking the fear. If you hear fear, uncertainty, and doubt, bud, it's coming from one of the intelligence agencies every single time. Read Flynn's timeline and tell me that is not fudnuckers over there.
We need arrest AG Bundy. I know. All right. So what I wanted to do too is Sean Hannity actually had the Democrats have exposed themselves as pro-crime party, and Donald Trump wants us to watch that. So we're going to watch that right now because that's what this show is about. Why are you Democrats so for crime, Shady? Why are they so for why?
Because it keeps the cities blue, Jeff. See,
right.
whenever you control the crime, you like Hillary Clinton said this crazy thing a long time ago. She said, we're going to bring the gangs to heel. Meaning we're going to bring them under the umbrella of our criminal organization. And so when you go out and start to arrest the criminals, you're effectively arresting our damn employees.
Yeah. And that's what you're seeing. The arrests are happening bottom to top. These people that they're arresting are part of the Democrat organization. Correct. Do you guys understand that? I want to see arrests. You're seeing them.
Well funded, I might add.
Yeah. Lisa Blair, PSA, the primary for Charlotte is today. Anyone in that area must vote the current government out. Looks like we got to get, who is it, Watley in there? Is that who he wants?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, Lisa, thank you. $20 Rumble rant. Thank you for that. Let's go to this. This is Donald J. Trump wants you to watch this. Democrats have exposed themselves as the pro-crime party.
Back.
And welcome to this special edition of Hannity, the Unhinged Left. The Democrats, they put politics over the public yet again. All week long, we saw example after example of this. Democrats are on the wrong side of every major single issue the country is facing right now. Now, despite President Trump's successful crackdown on crime in D.C., it's paying massive dividends. The left, they are resisting any and all efforts from President Trump to control crime in other cities like Chicago, like New York. For example, Labor Day weekend, Chicago, 58 people shot, 8 were killed. But still, the state's liberal leaders, they are refusing any and all opportunities to work with the president to make their city safer. Instead, they spent the last week in full-blown meltdown mode, screaming about Donald Trump and his efforts to crack down on Chicago's crime, something they have failed miserably at. That's keeping people safe and secure. Now, take a look at their worst moments of the week. Take a look.
If National Guard or other military troops are deployed to the city of Chicago, immediately go to court.
Chicago will continue to have a violence problem as long as red states continue to have a gun problem.
Do you think it would make a difference to have some help from the National Guard in Chicago?
Well, it certainly could, but the starting point is this. Local officials, like a governor and a mayor, can work with federal officials to be more effective in reducing crime. That's a given. I accept that. But in the situation in Chicago, this is not a negotiation any way whatsoever.
So it's clear that in secret, they're planning this. Well, it's an invasion with U.S. troops if they, in fact, do that.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people?
By the way, for the record, most Illinois guns come from Illinois. Now, Governor Pritzker, Mayor Johnson, people are dying in your city. People are being shot every weekend in your city. You have failed the people that you say you care about. This week has fully exposed Democrats as the pro-crime party of America, the party of defund, dismantle, no bail, reimagine the police. Let's replace them with social workers. You know, they care more about criminals than the safety and security of innocent, law-abiding Americans. And sadly, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Earlier this week, the U.S. military conducted a successful strike on a boat full of narco-terrorists. But because the Trump administration carried out the strike, by the way, protecting Americans again, the left has now come out in favor of protecting narco-terrorists, bringing in drugs that are killing Americans every single day. They're also the pro-illegal immigration party. They want millions of unvetted Biden, Harris, Mayorkas illegals to stay in the country. The party that puts the so-called rights of illegals over the safety of law-abiding citizens, even the criminal illegals who have committed countless heinous crimes, murder, rape, other violent crimes. The left doubling down on this insane ideological stance. And it gets worse. During a hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday, Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr., Democratic senators, a complete psycho meltdown mode. Oh, even though he said over and over again, vaccines will be available. I just want to inform the public. Our mortality rate for infants is going way down. Our life expectancy is down. Americans are not nearly as healthy as people in other countries, but they melted down anyway. Take a look.
You're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors. And the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody but you, Senator. But everybody is corrupt but you. Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy
free. The question is everyone who wants it. That was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
I hope that you will tell the American people how many preventable child deaths are an acceptable sacrifice for enacting
suffering succotash.
I think is fundamentally cruel and defies common sense. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do I got a reply? Senator, you've sat in that chair for how long? 20, 25 years, while the chronic disease in our children went up to 76%. And you said nothing. You never asked the question why it's happening. Why is this happening?
Why is it happening? Are you not allowed to ask the question? The Trump administration, they are working tirelessly. This is the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. Yesterday, Democrats revealed themselves to be the party of chronic illness, obesity problems. Look at the diabetes, heart disease plaguing our country. The left applauding bad economic data. They're happy that the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, too late Powell, is dragging his feet to cut rates, interest rates. That is killing the sale of pre-existing homes and new home construction. All because what? It hurts Donald Trump, therefore they support Jerome Powell. But the left's most vile, despicable display of the week was their reaction to the fake rumors that Donald Trump had suffered some sort of health crisis last week, all because he didn't have any public events for a couple of days. Take a look at that disgusting display.
This weekend, the biggest story was frenzied social media rumors speculating whether Donald Trump had died. For the record, Donald Trump is very much alive. Okay? And no, we like our presidents alive.
We may never know why Donald Trump suddenly spent a week hiding entirely from the American public. But you don't actually need baseless online conspiracies to explain why he might not want to show his face in public right now.
Donald Trump will never die. Forget it. He's like Dracula. He's going to keep sucking the life out of us forever.
The last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
Oh, there'll be plenty of news sometime. Anyway, the left has become completely unhinged. If it wasn't so serious, it's comical. They're wrong on every major issue of our time. Pro-crime, pro-illegal immigration, supporting the rights of men to play women's sports and share locker rooms, playing fields with women. Now they're pro-narco-terrorists. Don't kill the terrorists. That would be bad. You know, the people that are bringing drugs, killing Americans into our country. You know, pro-chronic illness? Really? We can't re-examine our healthcare system and see if maybe we can live a little bit longer and a little healthier, hoping and praying for bad economic data simply because they're blinded by rage and hatred for all things Donald Trump, doubling, tripling down on dumb, dumber, and stupid and crazy. But their resistance is not slowing down President Trump from doing what is right for you. Earlier today, the president announced he is renaming the Department of Defense to its original name, the Department of War. Meanwhile, Homeland Security investigations announced the largest single-site operation they have carried out, arresting 475 illegals during a raid at a Hyundai electric car battery factory in Georgia, and the administration's crackdown on illegal immigration insane sanctuary city policies is only ramping up. Yesterday, the DOJ announcing a lawsuit against Boston Mayor Michelle Wu over that city's sanctuary city policy and status. And meanwhile, the Trump administration's effort to reduce crime in D.C. is paying massive dividends. As director of the FBI, Kash Patel announced more than 1,800 arrests have been made. And also breaking tonight, the D.C. police, DOJ, announcing the arrests of 2 suspects charged with the murder of a Capitol Hill intern earlier this summer.
Wow, so they love it, Shady Grove. They love illegal. You know, you see these people marching, trying to protect illegal aliens that are here. When I grew up, people were illegal. They were deported, and nobody cared. I mean, they were happy that people were deported because they were taking our jobs, Shady.
Yeah, I didn't have that experience. The experience I had is they were being imported. That's what I saw happen. I was watching them be imported. Like whenever I was young, there weren't any anywhere, and pretty much everybody had a job, and then all of a sudden they were everywhere, and everybody was having to work for $5 to $6 less per hour because they were working for nothing.
They're also upset that we bombed that cartel boat, Shady Grove, full of drugs.
Oh yeah, Rand Paul even. Boy, the pirate protectors. I'm just telling you, man, it's like everybody says that I'm oversimplifying these things. It's like the Christopher Columbus was the pirate. All of these other narco terrorists are the pirate. All these people are connected to the bloodlines and the cartels and the church, and everybody thinks it's so complicated. But in all reality, you got one common enemy, the globalist empire.
Yeah. So Prince of the Air says Mike Gill in the Pandora's Pandora box papers. No, Mike Gill actually ended up turning out to be a fraud.
Yeah, he was
sadly.
kidding.
Yeah, and sorry, he's blocked me, but he actually owes a lot of money for defamation, and he's running, and that's why he's hiding. So I'm not sure. You might want to reconsider. I'm not, attacking you or anything, but Mike Gill has attacked this show as well. We had him on the show to hear him out, but he turned out to be a fraud. Zifna, taking a break from vacation, watching the news. Keep it up, MG Show. Thank you, Zif. Appreciate you. Sippy cup, in other words. Let's see. We had Lisa Blair, PSA. Okay, we got that. Charlotte, get out and vote today. Get out and vote today, Charlotte.
Oh, vote.
All right, so this is the U.S. is cracking down on cartel drug cruises from your president.
The president annihilated a cocaine speedboat operated by the cartel last night. They never saw it coming. America's been getting poisoned by drugs and gangs for decades. The old way of doing business didn't work. So Trump flipped the script.
The United States has long, for many, many years, established intelligence that allow us to interdict and stop drug boats. We did that. And it doesn't work. Interdiction doesn't work because these drug cartels, what they do is they know they're going to lose, 2% of their cargo. They bake it into their economics. What will stop them is when you blow them up, when you get rid of them.
America never really fought the war on drugs until now. Now, I'm not predicting victory. America loves to get high. But if they're going to kill our people with narcotics, we're going to kill their people with missiles.
We knew exactly who was in that boat. We knew exactly what they were doing, and we knew exactly who they represented. We're not going to allow this kind of activity. You're poisoning our people. We've got incredible assets, and they are gathering in the region. And so you want to try to traffic drugs? It's a new day. It's a different day.
Under Biden, the cartels turned into a Fortune 500 company. Trump's already caused them $1 billion in losses when he shut the border down and killed their smuggling profits. And now he's attacking their product, manpower, and transportation.
These are not stockbrokers. These are not real estate agents who on the side deal a few drugs. These are organized, corporate structured organizations who specialize in the trafficking of deadly drugs into the United States of America. We're not going to sit back anymore and watch these people sail up and down the Caribbean like a cruise ship.
The cartel cruise line was headed toward our shore with a cargo of death. Trump had no choice but to take them out. These aren't your grandmother's drug dealers.
These cartels are now in possession not just of landmines and grenade. We're now seeing the deployment of drone technology by narco-terrorist groups.
Now the cartel snuff film's spreading across the world. Every bad hombre in Latin America is on notice. And they know we can hit them whenever and wherever.
What was found on that boat, and why were the men killed instead of taken into
On the boat, you had massive amounts of drugs. We have tapes of them speaking. It was massive amounts of drugs coming into our country to kill a lot of people. They were hit, obviously. They won't be doing it again. And I think a lot of other people won't be doing it again when they watch that tape.
But Democrats aren't happy. They're calling Trump a murderous bully and a war criminal for taking out terrorists. Obama droned an American citizen. No comment. Biden wiped out 7 innocent kids in Afghanistan. Crickets. But Trump sinks a boat full of narcos with enough fentanyl to kill a small city, and they want to bring him to The Hague.
Whatever happened to no new wars? Doesn't seem like we're not getting into no new wars with stuff like that.
I wouldn't even be surprised if the people that he unalived on that boat were just a bunch of fishermen.
They shot the vessel right out of the water. Oh, so powerful. It was a speedboat.
That speedboat was full of killers heading to our coast. That's an enemy attack. Trump neutralized it. Are Democrats going to be pro-cartel now because Trump's killing them? The icebreakers are still going loco in Portland. They erected a guillotine outside an ICE building. Trentifa wants off with ICE's heads. And no one in the media cares. When the liberals resist, Trump doesn't slow down. He steps on the gas. ICE busted a drug warehouse in Texas where illegals were found hiding in the ceilings. The Coast Guard just pulled off its biggest bust in history, 75,000 pounds of coke. And in Texas, Judge Pirro, she just intercepted over 1,000 barrels of Chinese meth.
These 1,300 barrels were shipped from Shanghai, China to Mexico. We intercepted these precursors on the high seas, and now the Sinaloa cartel will not be able to use them to make methamphetamines. That's what we're doing in D.C., but we're doing it in Houston today, and you never know where we're going to be tomorrow.
This is what America voted for. Anyone with their eye on
Press 47 if this is what you voted for.
28, take note. Copy Trump, not Gav, who thinks ICE is going to steal the election.
You think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody knows what's at stake.
Everybody knows what's at stake. Yeah, you're a loser, dude. And your city, your state is next. And guys, look at it. Look at all those 47s. I voted for this, Shady. You voted for this. We want the crimes to stop. I mean, Chinese meth, guys. Okay. Why would anybody want a superpower who hates you? Okay. China doesn't like you. They hate you. They're shipping in drugs to kill you. That is an act of war, but they're doing it through the Sinaloa cartels. So it's kind of like that's who the terrorist organization is, but it's China, Shady. This is sad.
Which American do you know in your life that would be intimidated at a voting booth if they saw a National Guard standing there?
Not me.
I would walk up to him and say, thank you for your service and continue to walk past him and go vote. So isn't it interesting? Oh, wait. But if I were illegal, I might have a hard time walking up to that voting booth. There's a National Guard troop standing there. Isn't that a very interesting correlation that we have right here? This is smuggling. And what Donald Trump is doing is he's stopping the smuggling. By the way, I would like to just send the message out. If you're out there, you might want to stock up. The streets of America are getting ready to dry up. And I mean that in a big 40,000 pounds of cocaine in the Eastern Pacific last week as well. They are literally monitoring every single boat that's out there these days. And then we've been since the 1980s, Jeff. They've been telling us there was a war on drugs. Didn't you think that they were out there getting the narco terrorists for like?
That's what I thought.
No, I guess that they were letting the right drugs through and then getting rid of the competition and cooperating with the intelligence agencies and levying a war against us under the guise of a war on drugs to literally kill and bring in precursors to methamphetamine. It's like 1,300 barrels. Do you know how much methamphetamine that they can produce with those 1,300 barrels of precursor materials right there? How does that stuff get down to where, people like my brother in high school can get access to this shit? How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. It happens with mafia network drug smuggling throughout the country that's been set up by your damn politicians for the last 25 years, and they're laughing and thumbing their nose at you as they send out their media lapdogs and mock us and act like we're complaining about the crime.
It's racist.
It's racist to talk about the crime.
Why do we have a war on drugs when we have so much drugs?
Answer your own questions, guys.
All right, Shady Groove, let's do this real quick. Yeti, we got it. We got it right here. Hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action? Tune in to Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave, from jaw-dropping touchdowns to game-winning and game-changing plays. Don't miss a single moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on westwoodonesports.com, or via Westwood One station streams, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One.
This is a massive, massive reorganization of what it means to have a priority in America and what our priorities are. And God bless this man, the single-handedly. Did you ever think that someone could single-handedly come in and straighten all this stuff out? Like, he literally is straightening out every single crinkle that we have. And he's coming in and he's saying, you know what? This could use some ironing out here. This could use some ironing. And then, like, you talk about crime prevention. Crockett saying that the police don't prevent. You know what prevents drug smuggling? Images of a drug boat getting blowed the F up in the Bahamas.
It blowed up real good.
Unblowed up real good. That is a quote-unquote deterrent. And so now, Jeff, if they have minions on the ground in Venezuela and Brazil and all these South American countries, they're going to be, Central America, they're going to be pretty timid to be like, get on that boat. And the guy's going to be like, I don't want to get on the boat. He's going to say, you get on that boat and you drive that boat to Miami. And he says, sir, if I get on that boat, drive to Miami, they're going to bomb me with drones. I don't care. Get on the boat. How much more is it going to take to get you there? You see, there's a negotiation that becomes very frictionally amongst the drug cartels.
Blowed up real good, Shady.
Blowed it up real good.
I think there was I can't remember. Is that blowed up real good?
I don't know. Is it like a movie or something? For some reason, it seems familiar, but I can't.
Yeah, it is. I think it is. Oh, they're going to blow it up real good. Let me see if I can find it.
Billy Bob Thornton?
Billy Bob Rubick, University of Texas. Right guard.
Yeah.
Number 27. Oh, 72. Wait, all right. I can't find it. Anyways, let's go to this because it's amazing because, there is a lot of crime, and there's a lot of crime in D.C. Let's watch this video that your president wants you to watch about the must-watch powerful video on D.C. crime.
They got this whole slogan.
Oopsie. What the heck?
Oh, man, that went back to Hannity.
What the heck happened?
Went back to Hannity, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Did watch that video.
I did not watch it.
No,
all right, here we go.
Did. Here we go.
Here we go.
They got this whole slogan out. They say, if you want to get away with murder, kill them in D.C. That's a slogan. That's the street slogan. Every time I turn around, there's another shooting, there's a murder. And in the district, they're killing and walking away with minimum time. See, D.C., they need everything that Trump is doing. I don't care what they say about him. Fix it. My name is Felicia Cook, and I've been a D.C. resident for since I was born there in 1956. On April the 23rd, that's when Marty went missing. I went downstairs and he wasn't there. I said, well, I'm gonna call his job and see if he's been to work, because I know how excited he was about the job. And the people said at work that he hadn't been to work. When I hung up the phone, it's kind of like I knew something was wrong. Meantime, my daughter coming up here every Friday, and she going through everything he had downstairs. And she found out his last conversation was with some girl he had met on Plenty of Fish. He went to visit her, and he never came back home. That's all he was doing, was going on a date. That was it. He shot that boy 7 times. He overkilled him. Cold blood. He didn't give him a chance. My grandson was 23 years old. Just getting his life together, man. My grandson's life did matter. And I live with that pain every day. What are you telling the victims?
You remember how it ended?
We don't matter. The criminals matter more. The Democrats didn't do it. I stood in front of the Department of Justice. I talked to Mayor Bass. They heard his story. They knew it. They saw us out there crying. Never did nothing. We have to live with this for the rest of my life. Ooh, I'm so glad. Somebody's finally hearing it. The man is doing something right. It's time for it. I don't care what you say. Be mad at me. Be mad at me. Somebody's finally trying to do something to make it better. You wanted to clean up? You wanted to stop? Let them killers know you mean business. Thank you. Thank you so much. Because at least it brings some soothing to my pain to know that somebody cares. And somebody somewhere cares. And I don't want this to happen to nobody else.
Wow.
Wow. Boy, oh boy. Can't say it much better than that, can you?
Is she racist?
No, sir.
No.
No, she loves
She loves her family. And she loves where she was born. And she wants it fixed. The Democrats have not fixed anything. If you can't tell them, show them. That is what has been happening. And it's a Delta today, too, I believe.
Yeah, we're a decade in. At this point, we're pretty much a good solid decade into the Trump era of understanding, what our problems are and how. Right now, I'm hearing on the ground that a number of these centralized gangs that were operating in D.C. have retreated to New York and Chicago. Then some of them are even probably going to end up retreating to L.A. That means they're on the run. Still no murders in D.C. So this stuff, the crime isn't organic to the city. The crime is organic to the network that is distributing the drugs on your street. And the police are being targeted by the criminals that are controlling aspects of government to eliminate the people that could prevent the crime so that they could act without impunity. That's exactly what you're seeing here. And man, I tell you, Jeff, it's like, you listen to somebody like that and compare that to what we see Stelter saying. And the people like Stelter that want to go on TV and do the race baiting, they don't understand that lady that we were just listening to is no different than the white Ukrainian lady in Charlotte. Like that, there's no difference in the victim. The victim is always the victim, and you're not going to convince us to start caring about the perpetrator. I don't care about the perpetrator. If the person that is the perpetrator of a crime is some guy who they found half a joint's worth of weed in his pocket, I'm on that guy's side. If the guy has got a knife and he just stabbed somebody, you can't be on that guy's side and want to be a part of polite society at the same time, guys. You're something else. There's something wrong with you.
There's also some breaking news, too, right here, Shady Groove. Scott Jennings, Trump inherited a mess. What an absolute scandal across the board. Just in, almost 1 million fewer jobs were created between April 24 and March 25, the BLS says. Wow, that's a big revision. That means the labor market was weak even before the tariffs kicked in. The job market was mostly frozen in 2024, too. The average job gains before revision, 147,000.
Yep.
Wow. So Biden sucked.
And well, not only that, but everything that they were trying to do to try to bolster his numbers was completely fake. It was based on nothing. And so now they're trying to utilize those numbers that are based on nothing to undermine Donald Trump's jobs report, because he's actually out there bringing in investment to the country. He's bringing in investment, which will generate jobs. It just doesn't do it immediately. It takes a little while for the people to get their stuff in order and for people to get to work.
That's right. Check this out, Shady. The left-wing media is vilifying us for... Check it out. Just check.
Politico, Ukrainian refugee. This is Politico. Ukrainian refugee killed in North Carolina gets dragged into political messaging war. Because the problem is the right and MAGA for bringing attention to this brutal murder. And then there's CNN's Brian Stelter. He jumped into attack mode, attacking Republicans for their coverage of this slaying.
Most murders in the U.S. never become national news. This one's
Right. We saw this as well. So, and by the way, President Trump has a message as well. Let's check it out.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people. Really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists. They've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life, with a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country. We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand. 24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 50 people were murdered in Chicago in recent weeks, with hundreds being shot. And it's time to stop this madness. The people of our country need to insist on protection, safety, law, and order. We have proven that it can be done because we did it right here in D.C., in District of Columbia. The capital of America was a bloodthirsty, horrible, dangerous place, one of the worst. And now it's a crime-free city, and we're going to keep it that way. It can be done. It can happen fast. All we want is, please, Mr. President, we need help. Chicago needs help. Other cities needs help. We'll do what has to be done because we're going to make America safe again. And that includes our big cities. We're going to make those cities safe. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
But this is politicized. You're a racist.
They'll double down on that after that. Now they'll claim that that's exactly what he's doing. They'll claim the opposite.
So here we have a couple of things in this video that are going on. This guy was a catch and release, right? You know, cashless bail 14 times. She was a legal immigrant here in the United States, happened to be Ukrainian, running away from an illegal bullcrap war, guys. And no Ukrainian flag people are even standing up for her. The mainstream media isn't standing up for her. Instead, they're saying that it's racism because somebody was killed by somebody. We do not look at skin color. We look at actions of people. It's crazy.
Reorientation is happening.
Yeah, reorient. Get, you know, all these fights over rainbow colored like crosswalks. It's done, guys. All that is done. We are under one flag, whether you worship rainbow colors or not. It doesn't matter. You are an American. Be proud of it, Shady. People should be proud of it. Okay?
People should want to have a place to live where they can be free and safe. People shouldn't want chaos, confusion, death, and destruction. And if they do, they need medication and they need to be isolated away from the rest of us.
So with this presentation in the first hour, let me see your answers. Let's press 47 if you think that the Democrats have lost their way and they're supporting crime and the destruction of America. What do you guys think?
Pretty obvious, Jeff.
I'm going to put my 47 in, Shady.
Get in there.
I got it.
All right.
I got it. And we'll get 17 seconds. These people will get it as well, Shady.
Yes, they will.
There they are, 47s. Look at that. We want our country back. This isn't about race. It's not about even political affiliation. It's about the truth.
No.
Uh-oh. Shady froze. Wow. Shady? Shady? Shady froze, guys. Yikes. And it's just about time because we got, oh my God, Shady! Don't freeze. And we'll be right back. We're going to head up to some break real quick. We're going to take a bio break. Get your kefefe, get your popcorn, because you do not want to miss hour number 2, even though I don't know what we're going to talk about. But we never do. It's a show, and we do it live. We'll be right back after these beautiful boom messages. Take it, Yeti.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20% and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
in the shadows of the deep state game. Q drops clues that set the truth aflame. MG shows got the mic in the matrix and shady groove, unraveling the proof that the normies can't prove. From Trump tweets syncing up just right to headlines hitting like a laser sight. Their pesky little hints bugging the cabal's mind, linking drops to drops, leaving them behind. Oh, those pesky cube proofs they won't let go. Shared on the MG show, stealing the show. From foreign and domestic billionaire foundations to Russia hoax, lies, censorship, and fake decodes. News unlocks the post, the light starts to gleam. Q's clear signal, living the dream. Pesky proofs piling, stacking so high. The great awakening's coming. Wave goodbye. Remember that drop out the indictment sealed. MG breaks it down, keeps it real. The guide to the spy op resignations in rows. Initials matching up, everybody knows. Whistle blew was revelation, Trump's lawsuit call. Over 50 proof strong, watch the mighty fall. Paranoia the fake news, twisting their tails. We're on a rumbling podcast, the truth never fails. Oh, those pesky Q proofs they won't let go. Shared on the MG show, stealing the show. From foreign and domestic billionaire foundations to Russia hoax, lies, censorship, and fake decode. News unlocks the post, the light starts to gleam. Q's clear signal, living the dream. Pesky proofs piling, stacking so high. The great awakening's coming. Wave goodbye. Socratic questions pointing the way. Anons worldwide fight in the fray. No more distortion, no media spin. Constitution's the guide, let the battle begin. From 2019 launch to the daily grind. MG's bashing a truth, one of a kind. Pesky, yeah, but they're proving the plan. Dark to light across the land. So tune in at noon ET time, don't miss. MG show sharing those pesky Q twists. The truth is learned, never told, they say. Join the fight and on seize the day. Pesky proofs, yeah, they're here to stay.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't even get through all of them, Shady. I'm August 9th only. Wow. Wait. Boom. Wow. Pesky Q-proof, Shady Groove. He thinks he's unmuted. What's going on? You got to unmute, Shady.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Do it.
Not going to do it.
Do it. Do it. We're going to blow you up real good.
Not going to do it. Done blowed you up real good.
Welcome back to the show, Shady Freeze and Shady Mute.
I mean, it's a debacle of internet debauchery over here this morning.
Oh, my gosh. So just so you guys know, those are pesky Q-proofs. APAL Anon did a show on that as well. Check this out. That is the search term right there. If you want to go to see pesky Q-proofs, just go to inthematrix with 3x's.com, on X or whatever. X in the matrix with 3x's at in the just go to X, go to my profile, type in pesky, and you'll see all the pesky Q-proofs. I only got to, that was a 3 minute and 35 second song, Shady, and I only got to August 9th.
And they've been coming out pretty hard for 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah.
2 for Tuesday.
Yeah, 2 for Tuesday, Shady.
That's what Zipna said.
Because you blowed up real good.
I froze up and then I muted out. We're going to try this for the second hour. What is today? Is it Monday yet?
It's Tuesday.
Wow, it's already after Monday. Wow.
So yesterday, live on the show, this was the pesky Q-proof and the 9818 Delta 7 years ago today, Shady, or yesterday. President Trump held the Religious Liberty Commission and White House posts One Nation Under God 7 years ago today. Post 2119 Q plus posts And we know who Q Plus is. We think that's Donald J. Trump. And then there it is. All right there, guys. Nothing can stop what is coming news. Look at that, guys. One nation under God. And by the way, there's 4 posts with one nation under God. Look at this. It is a time to unite and fight for freedom. Together, we are strong. Apart, we are weak. Patriots have no skin color. Wasn't I just talking about that? It doesn't matter your skin color, guys. You can be a patriot and you can be a criminal. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. And people know that. People know that. You know that. I know that. Shady, you know that?
You know that.
We just want to be free from oppression. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for and protected and handed on to them to do the same. Or one day we'll spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free. We're already doing that, Shady Groove, but it's coming back, guys. One nation under God, land of the free, home of the brave. Will you answer the call? Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
There's so many people now, whenever you kind of like stand back from, let's say, the last 6 or 8 months of what we've been able to see happen. Like, look at all of the stars that are rising in the Republican Party. Look at all the people that are there doing the right thing in front of you. It's like we talk about crime, and it's interesting how, let's make the connection real quick. What were we talking about yesterday? We were talking about religious freedom in school, and we were talking about a commission that would reinvigorate a prayer in school and allow prayers in school and allow states to have control and this mandate, getting rid of this nonsense to reassociate who we are as a country with our faith and our schooling of our children. Well, now today we're talking about crime. How does one thing connect to the other? Does it correlate if you take and you pull back and you look at the numbers of the statistics of crime that have gone up consistently over the last 30 years as religion and faith has been removed from the school system?
Yeah.
Why is that? What, it's like, what would be like, wouldn't those two things be completely like predictive of one another? Wouldn't you predict that if you remove the bedrock of faith, if you remove what it means to not steal, to not harm, to not kill, if you remove those things from the school system, then people aren't going to understand life the same way, are they? They're going to be more willing to do things that are impugning your rights. You see, we're supposed to have the right to leave other people alone to have their rights. We don't have the right to go and attack other people because we don't like what they're doing with their rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what America is. America is the freedom of self-expression, not the freedom to go tear down pre-existing structure. Okay. And this communist mentality, their mentality is the ends justifies the means, and their mentality is destruction. And if they have faith as an example amongst your children as they're growing up, they're going to have a lot harder of a time convincing them that they should go out and they should sell drugs on the corner, or that they should become a prostitute, or that they should do any number of other things that sends life in a spiral into a destructive pattern as opposed to a productive pattern.
Yeah. Wow.
They're connected. And Donald Trump is literally, again, prioritizing us and saying, hey, guys, ignore the media. They're going to call you a racist no matter what you do. You could literally like go down to the store and like buy a bottle of water and they're going to call you a racist. It doesn't matter. They're going to do it no matter what you do. So step over it, get past it, and start to live your life the way you deem it necessary.
That's right. That's right. So you got all these Democrats, Shady Groove, and all they're doing is supporting crime. They're supporting the illegal aliens. They're supporting foreign wars that we shouldn't even be in. They're supporting all this corruption. They're supporting the auto pen, which we got news on that too, by the way. Yeah. We got, all these people that are coming in from other countries that are deranged. They're from mental institutions. They're pedophiles. Okay. And all they got is Trump had a picture with Epstein that's fake. These people have nothing, guys. You guys have nothing. Let's talk about Bill Clinton. Now comes Bill Clinton's birthday card note to Epstein. Okay. You ready, Shady?
I am ready. I want to hear Bill read it.
Hey, Jeffrey, happy 50th. Basically happy 50th. It's amazing, isn't it? To learn after all these years of learning and knowing, adventure and wonder, to have your childlike curiosity, the drive to make a difference, and to treasure our friends. Bill Clinton.
So they ignored the real birthday message from Bill Clinton that's been out there for a long, long time to generate a fake one with Donald Trump like drawing pictures. It's so stupid. The one that they're trying to say is Trump.
And who thinks childlike curiosity is creepy? Press 17.
Of course it's creepy.
Oh my God.
And that's a real quote. Like that's real. Like Bill Clinton really wrote that.
That's real.
That's not them pretending that. That's not like some guy in Trump's camp making this up that Bill Clinton wrote it, like the Wall Street Journal is trying to make up that Donald Trump wrote this nonsense that they're publishing over there. Which, by the way, you want to talk about another big-time lawsuit that's coming down the pike? You just see one right now with this whole thing trying to claim that Donald Trump wrote this letter. It's going to happen, and he's going to get another 30 or 40 million out of one of these media companies.
That's right. And by the way, guys, you just put this into Grok and say, hey, can you read this handwriting? I couldn't really read it, okay? So I got Grok to actually read it, and there it is, guys. Look it. I mean, it is, this AI can be used for good if we use it for good. So I just want to let you know how I got that translation, because that's pretty hard to read, isn't it?
It can read cursive, too. It can read, like a lot of the stuff that we've been doing on our Friday show, we've been plugging into it with the Pandora book. You take a picture of some of the stuff that we can't even begin to read, and it's like, and you're like,
yeah, it's like, holy moly.
I mean, that is what it says.
By the way, we are doing the Pandora's box, which was a Q post, okay? Not Mike Gill, okay? Q proof. So Pandora's box, put it up there, Yeti, because I got something pretty interesting here that Donald Trump posted today. This is the book that we're reading on Friday. You need to get Friday's premium. Check out the book. There it is, okay? Get the book or watch us on Friday. You got to watch us. But listen to this, Shady Grove. Let's listen to this. If the Fed had followed what we published, they would have raised the rates in early 2021. The entire organization is broken. It needs to be fixed. They need to use modern sources of information. We strongly disagree with Ken Griffin. We think incompetence is more important to defend than to defend theoretical independence. He, too late, has done, and meaning Powell, has done a terrible job since he adapted a two-target. It's too low. It's too rigid. They followed data that's years delayed. They don't believe that money supply matters. It's like the Pope not believing in Jesus. We think that a much bigger problem than this nation they are dependent or that they are not independent. Jay Hatfield, Infrastructure Capital Advisor, CEO and CIO on Maria Bartiromo, quote, Chairman Powell was late to raise rates. They need to come down here. There's no question about it. He's dragging his feet. The feds are going to come down here 50, 75, maybe 100. Greg Farinello, American Securities on Maria Bartiromo. But people, if you're following us, you understand that the Pacer bloodline bought the Vatican, and I think it's pretty interesting, Shady Grove, that text was chosen.
Yeah, and it ties doing the weave with that content, right? He's doing a little weave there for us. And by the way, the Pope doesn't believe in Jesus, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, thou shalt not worship any idol other than me, and people are worshiping a Pope. I've never understood that.
It's a little odd.
Well, and God bless you if you're Catholic. This is not a shot at Catholics. You can be whatever you want to be. This is religious freedom. God bless you. Just follow the law. That's all I care about, Shady.
You shouldn't put fish on your head.
Hey. I got a fish in my head. I got a fish on my head. All right. So wanted to just show you that. That's very interesting. Pandora's political elite box because they're bloodlines, guys. Okay. They're protecting the bloodlines. Not that they have LLCs. We all know they have LLCs, Shady.
Yeah, we all know, and we wouldn't be one to think that that Powell is protecting the bloodline, that's protecting the intelligence agency, that's protecting the drug runners, that's protecting the cartel, that's protecting the church. We would not want to see that clearly because life turns upside down when you do.
Let's go to the auto pen, Shady Grove. We covered it yesterday. You got to watch yesterday's show. If you did not, it's awesome. But the auto pen pardons should be null and void. Remember we talked about that meme? It'll be like you're not even here pointing at Obama. Well, we think Obama was running the show for Biden. That's my thought. That's my theory. And listen, if the auto pen pardons and auto pen executive orders are null and void, what happens? It'll be like you're not even here, Shady, right? Or never were.
Absolutely. It's gonna go back for a minute too.
Yeah, I think so. Check this out.
Who said that?
The Merrick Garland, high-ranking official in the Garland Department of Justice, was concerned about the excessive use of the auto pen on legal documents.
So you're saying today, for the purposes of this interview now, that there were people within the Biden administration, the Biden White House, or was it the Justice Department who disagreed with the auto pen and the pardons that were coming down? What have you learned about that?
It was the Justice Department that disagreed with the excessive use of the auto pen on legal documents. It was the Justice Department that emailed the White House asking, did the president even know who was pardoned using the auto pen? So you take that, and you go with President Biden's one interview he's given post-presidency with the New York Times, and they asked him about the pardon process, and he said he delegated that out. Well, that's not how the pardon process works. Only one person in the world has the ability to pardon, and that's the President of the United States.
Okay, so let me go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt you here. I'm just trying to move it along in terms of time here. On screen, guys, go for it. 4,245 granted clemency. That's a lot, and 95% of those occurred in the final 3.5 months of his presidency. Sir, if I could, you put a post on X on Saturday. I'm just going to quote you. You said, another day, another revelation showing Joe Biden wasn't one to call the shots. There must be accountability. Knowing that this is all past us, where is the accountability? How would that come?
Well, I think for one thing, you can question whether or not these pardons and executive orders that were signed in the last 3.5 months, when the president was clearly checked out of office, and there's more and more evidence that shows he didn't know what was going on with the use of that auto pen. I think you can question the validity and the legality of those pardons and executive orders, and that's huge. I mean, I think that it's not a stretch to say that those pardons and executive orders could be easily declared null and void in a court of law, and I think that our investigation will serve as evidence with that. You know, we've got a few more people to bring in. We're bringing in Jean-Pierre Friday. She obviously has a book that comes out that talks about a lot of things that were going on in the Biden White House. We wonder if the use of the auto pen down the stretch is one of them. We're going to find out. But at the end of the day, what the staffers that we brought in and deposed, the way they said the auto pen worked versus what the emails that are being surfaced say how the auto pens work, totally inconsistent.
Okay.
But one thing that we have learned is that Joe Biden wasn't the one that was directing the use of that auto pen.
All right, here we go. Karine Jean-Pierre is on Friday, September 12th. Thursday is going to be a big deal. September 11th. And September 18th is next Thursday. Jeff Zients is then former White House Chief of Staff.
And allegedly, Loretta Lynch is set to testify today, but there's not even a news article about it.
Yeah, because they don't want anybody talking about that.
Mm.
And you're going to find this being consistent with all of this stuff that it starts to bubble up. You know, like that's 4,600 of those commutations. Like you guys, man, once you start peeling through the onion of like who those people were that they commuted the sentences. I mean, you're talking about hardened criminals, bro. I mean, it's like, you know, you want to talk about like letting out your quote unquote gang members to go back out on the streets. They probably were handpicked by Obama whenever you look at them more in depth.
Yeah. And by the way, and the foreign billionaires, right? The foreign
they're probably all on the streets of Chicago.
We've got Ketanji Jackson confirmed Arabella advisors. Okay. So let's do this. Speaking of Supreme Court, okay. President Trump has racked up an impressive 21 Supreme Court victories so far. 21.
He hasn't lost one.
Go ahead.
He hasn't lost one.
On everything from immigration enforcement to transgender military policies to firing federal officials and dismantling agencies. But let's be real. This constant barrage of lower court blocks followed by emergency appeals to SCOTUS is an epic waste of your money, taxpayer time and money. We need to fix our broken court system now to stop the endless legal ping pong and let the executive branch actually govern, guys. Have you noticed the pattern? Shady, here, I'm going to just show it. 21 Supreme Court victories right here. Let's just go through them. Nationwide injunctions, Washington, New Jersey, and CASA. Transgender military ban. Third country removals number 1. Third country removals number 2. Ending federal DEI funding. Department of Education rifts. Multi-agency rifts. Alien Enemies Act habeas. Abrego Garcia. Terminating probationary employees. Terminating high-ranking executive officials. Revoking TPS for Venezuelan migrants. Revoking parole status for CHNV migrants. Social Security data access. Rejecting intrusive discovery. Terminating CPSC commissioner. NIH funding, immigration enforcement in Los Angeles. Look at this, guys. These Democrat-funded foreign billionaire lawyers are creating such havoc for your executive branch that obviously the Democrats love crime, Shady.
That's exactly what every single one of these arguments was put up to protect. Every single instance that you're talking about has something to do with a Democrat wanting to protect their criminal activity or something or someone connected to Democrat criminal activity. And not to mention that we don't lose in the Supreme Court. Who has the pulse? Who has their hand on the pulse? Who has their finger on the pulse of the Constitution? If the President of the United States can go up against all this adversity, they're out there screaming like, "Oh, there's been they're trying to create a quantity effect." In other words, there's so many things going on, you would bound to believe that there's got to be corruption somewhere. But one by one, Trump puts his lawyers on the project. He explains to them how this is non-constitutional. He explains to them exactly what course of action to proceed with. And they end up at the end of the Supreme Court with the decision on their side. You cannot take that away from him, no matter how much TDS you want to pour down your throat.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy that we're right.
And all they want to do is, whatever Trump wants to do, let's do different. Trump wants to get rid of illegals. Let's protest, fake protest to keep them here. What are you guys doing? They're illegal.
I mean, really, honestly, we should be. Well, I shouldn't say that out loud, but they will literally do the opposite of anything that you do.
Yeah.
So so use your imagination with that.
All right, we'll use our imagination because Shady's about ready to get himself in trouble. It sounds like
that's not good. Everything going like nothing could be said right there.
Where's the freeze when you need it?
I didn't freeze. I needed it bad right there.
You did. I did too. But we're just looking at all this stuff going, what is going on? And my friends and family that want to be, whatever, Shady Groove, like if you want to be Democrat, that's fine. But do these people even know what the hell they're talking about, Shady?
Well, it seems like that what they want is the status quo. People do not like change, and it explains it too. We're more apt to suffer the insufferable than we are to stand up and push back on it. That's the way people are, and that's what you're seeing in the Democrat Party. That's why I'm so impressed with what MAGA is and the political movement that MAGA actually is, because it's really, honestly, at the core of it, it's a political movement that respects the individual rights of the person. Meaning that if I disagree with something that someone else that supports Trump says, we can have an argument about it and still go home at the end of the day and support Donald Trump, supposedly. But
my point is going to say, can they really argue about it? And I'm going to prove this right now because they don't know what they're doing. They're just mind-controlled plebes. You ready?
I'm 100% ready.
Check it out.
We're fighting oligarchy.
Fighting oligarchy.
Woo, tax the rich.
We're here to freeze their rent.
What is oligarchy?
Pardon?
What is oligarchy?
Billionaires getting what they want, and the rest of us getting squat.
People don't like monopolies. Do you like monopolies?
I love the board games. Is George Soros part of the oligarchy?
That's a dumb question. By my definition, he's not an oligarch.
Is Michael Bloomberg an oligarch?
Getting a little closer.
Closer than ever before.
Should we have billionaires?
No.
No, absolutely not. Billionaires should not exist.
No. So if you're working hard, you're making money, you get to a billionaire status, we take that away from you. Good question.
I was not prepared for this.
If you had $1 billion,
Yeah.
what would you do with it?
Buy purses and shoes.
Don't you think that's hypocritical?
Redistribute it to the working people.
There we go. You're going to heaven.
We are not all saints.
But you
all of us
are.
have interests.
You're a saint.
Yeah.
Welcome to heaven, mother.
If you invest money in a good product and the government comes and takes that money away from you, isn't that communism?
No, that's not.
Why?
If depends how you call it. You could call it social democracy.
What is the difference between socialism and communism?
So, this gets into really technical stuff.
Socialism is like communism light.
Where has socialism worked?
Here.
We're capitalists here.
Cuba.
Make America Cuba.
Again. Mecca.
We get the out of here. Let's roll down. Let's go.
We got to talk about Bernie Sanders, right?
We do.
He's a multimillionaire. He's got several homes. He's flying on private jets.
More power to him for it.
Yeah, he has a summer home, which
Who doesn't have a summer home?
I don't.
You know how he got multiple homes? He wrote a book.
The book, I think they said, was forged. It was a phony book.
If Zoran becomes mayor of New York City, the first thing you want to see him do is...
Guys, they don't even know who they are actually talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just paid to wear shirts. Caroline Levitt is joining us right now, Shady.
They're good commies.
Yeah.
Commemorate
if there is such a thing.
The 4th anniversary of 9/11 on Thursday.
Good at being a commie.
With a visit to the Pentagon Memorial in the morning, followed by an appearance at the New York Yankees game at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx on Thursday evening. Next week, as you all know, the President and the First Lady will depart for their historic state visit to the United Kingdom on Tuesday, and they return to Washington on Thursday. Today, I would like to address the tragedy that has not received nearly enough media attention, the brutal murder of Irina Zarutska. Here are the facts that many outlets have shamefully and intentionally failed to report until President Trump drew attention to it. On August 22nd, Irina Zarutska was stabbed to death on the rail system in Charlotte, North Carolina, by a savage career criminal. This is a public transportation system that many in the area use every single day to go to school and work. Irina was on the train that night traveling home from her job at a pizzeria, still in uniform from her shift. This beautiful, innocent 23-year-old young woman was a Ukrainian refugee who had recently fled her country for a chance at a safer life and a promising new beginning here in the United States of America. But tragically, a public transportation system in a major American city was more dangerous than the active war zone that she left. The president and the entire White House are praying for her family and friends during this unimaginably difficult time. But while we extend our thoughts and prayers, we must also seek justice for this crime and call attention to this heinous incident. Surveillance video of the killing was finally released to the public this past Friday. It shows the alleged killer, DeCarlos Brown Jr., pull out a knife, get up from his seat behind Irina, and prepare to thrust a blade into her neck before the released footage gets cut. This is pure evil on full display. The most enraging and unacceptable part of this story is that her death was entirely preventable. DeCarlos Brown never should have been on that train that night. In fact, he should have been behind bars. DeCarlos Brown has been charged with crimes no fewer than 14 times, dating back to 2011, including for armed robbery, felony larceny, breaking and entering, and shoplifting. Brown had previously served 5 years in prison for a robbery with a deadly weapon charge, and he had also forfeited bonds 3 different times, twice in 2014 and once in 2023. Despite all of this past documented criminal history, when Brown was arrested yet again in January of this past year, a Democrat judge, who I will add was a strong supporter of former Vice President Kamala Harris, released this insane criminal once again without requiring him to pay any bail. He simply had to sign a written promise to return for his court hearing. Think about how crazy it is to ask a career criminal, someone who by definition repeatedly breaks the law, to just sign a written promise and come back again another day. This is madness. This monster should have been locked up, and Irina should still be alive. But Democrat politicians, liberal judges, and weak prosecutors would rather virtue signal than lock up criminals and protect their communities. And perhaps most shamefully of all, the majority of the media, many outlets in this room, decided that her murder was not worth reporting on originally because it does not fit a preferred narrative. Many of the journalists in this room spilled plenty of ink trying to smear Daniel Penny for defending a subway car from a deranged lunatic in New York City, but none of those same reporters lift a finger to write stories about an actual murderer. Here's the truth that every American must know. Too many innocent people across the country continue to pay the price of the failed experiment known as cashless bail that has been championed by the Democrat Party for years. All the way back in 2020, North Carolina's then Democrat Governor Roy Cooper established a so-called task force for racial equity in criminal justice. Sounds nice, but it's not. That task force was co-authored by then Attorney General and current Democrat Governor Josh Stein. It recommended, quote, reimagining public safety to, quote, promote diversion and other alternatives to arrest. It also advised to de-emphasize some felony crimes, prioritize, quote, restorative justice, and eliminate cash bail. Democrats in North Carolina and nationwide are consumed with pushing a woke, soft-on-crime agenda, no matter how many innocent Americans suffer as a result. Instead of aggressively prosecuting and locking up violent criminals, the Democrat-backed cashless bail approach lets these criminals roam free in our country to offend again and again. These reckless policies have turned too many of American cities into hunting grounds for career criminals who mock our justice system, drain law enforcement resources, and wreak havoc on law-abiding citizens. Enough is enough, and that is why President Trump is doing everything in his power by taking action to undo these absurd policies. The president recently signed a powerful executive order directing the AG to submit a list of states and local jurisdictions with cashless bail policies so that the Trump administration may identify federal funds that are being provided to these states and can potentially be suspended or terminated. President Trump firmly believes that to maintain order in public safety, we must incarcerate individuals whose pending criminal charges or criminal history demonstrate a clear, ongoing risk to civil society. This is a common sense and sensible approach that the vast majority of Americans agree with, and it's time for the Democrat Party to get on board with what is right. When these criminals are caught, they must be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and be sent to prison, where they can no longer terrorize our streets. This is the mandate the American people delivered to President Trump, and it's a mandate he intends to fulfill. Staying on the topic of public safety, new preliminary data released today by Customs and Border Protection in August shows that President Trump has delivered the most secure border in American history. For the fourth straight month, 0 illegal aliens were released into the United States by CBP. Nationwide encounters are down 93% below the peak of the Biden administration. Border Patrol apprehensions on the southwest border in the entire month of August were less than what was apprehended in 4 days in August 2024 under the Biden administration. President Trump has ended disastrous Biden illegal alien invasion, and he sealed our border in record time, keeping this central promise he made to the American public. With that, I will take your questions. Here in our new media seat today, we have Michael Schellenberger, who is the founder of Public News with nearly 2 million readers and subscribers. Michael, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And why don't you kick us off? Sure.
Thank you for making space for new media. Nice to meet all of you. It's great to be here. I want to see if you could give some. The president is considering additional measures against Europe and Brazil, not just for censorship, but also for preventing political candidates from actually competing in elections. We've now seen in Romania, France, and now Germany with Joachim Paul, efforts to basically just prevent candidates from being able to compete in elections. The president has shown some concern around President Bolsonaro, who's being prevented from running. All of this is coming in the context of increased censorship of online platforms, of American platforms, and efforts to censor Americans. I'm personally being investigated under criminal investigation with my Brazilian colleagues for publishing the Twitter Files Brazil. We're very grateful that the president has imposed Magnitsky sanctions on the judge. Is the president considering additional actions, given that it appears that they're going to end up with a conviction against President Bolsonaro, preventing him from running? Is he considering doing anything about this crackdown in Europe? I mean, it's shocking to see Joachim Paul, this mayoral candidate in Germany, the criminal indictment against him cites him, quote, saying that he loves the Lord of the Rings as reason why he's an extremist and shouldn't be able to run. So I just wonder if you could speak to that. And again, I'm grateful to be here. Nice to meet you all. And I'm grateful for what the Trump administration has done to push for free speech abroad.
Well, thanks for being here, Michael. We appreciate it. Freedom of speech is arguably the most important issue of our time. It is enshrined in our Constitution, and the president believes in it strongly. He himself faced censorship in his road back to this beautiful Oval Office here in Washington, D.C., so he takes this very seriously, as does, I know, the Vice President of the United States and the entire Trump administration, which is why we have taken significant action with regards to Brazil in the form of both sanctions and also leveraging the use of tariffs to ensure that countries around the world are not punishing their citizens in this way. And at the same time, the president is, while he's leveraging the United States to safeguard our interests abroad, he's also making sure that freedom of speech remains here in the United States of America. So I don't have any additional actions to preview for you today, but I can tell you this is a priority for the administration, and the president is unafraid to use the economic might, the military might of the United States of America to protect free speech around the world.
Quick follow-up to that?
Sure.
Quick follow-up, which is just, there was a Reuters story saying that the Trump administration was looking at this Europe-U.S. trade deal as one of the sticking points, this issue of the censorship, not just of U.S. platforms, of Americans. Do you have any updates on how those trade talks are going? And I also wonder if the president is concerned about NATO membership. NATO membership requires that you be a democracy and you have free speech. Is it possible that some of these actions that we've seen in Romania, France, and Germany would disqualify those countries from being in NATO after this?
I have not heard the president discuss NATO membership in regards to this issue in particular, but I have heard him discuss the issue of free speech and the importance of free speech with foreign leaders around the world, including the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. When we were in Scotland, the president brought this up and how important it is for the Prime Minister to protect free speech in the UK and in various conversations with other world leaders. So he brings it up, and I think the entire world knows that this is a priority for the President of the United States. Gabe.
Thank you, Caroline. Regarding the Israeli strike in Doha, how much time or how much of a heads up did the U.S. get, and does the president support the strike?
Sure. Well, I have a statement to read for all of you with respect to the Israeli strike in Doha, and here it is. This morning, the Trump administration was notified by the United States military that as Israel was attacking Hamas, which very unfortunately was located in a section of Doha, the capital of Qatar. Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals. However, eliminating Hamas, who have profited off the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal. President Trump immediately directed Special Envoy Witkoff to inform the Qataris of the impending attack, which he did. The president views Qatar as a strong ally and friend of the United States and feels very badly about the location of this attack. President Trump wants all of the hostages in Gaza and the bodies of the dead released, and this war to end now. President Trump also spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu after the attack. The Prime Minister told President Trump that he wants to make peace, and quickly. President Trump believes this unfortunate incident could serve as an opportunity for peace. The president also spoke to the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar and thanked them for their support and friendship to our country. He assured them that such a thing will not happen again on their soil.
To be clear, the president disagrees with the location of the strike, and that he passed that along to Prime Minister Netanyahu.
The president just confirmed that in the statement that I just read to you, which I spoke with him about before coming out here.
Jackie.
Thank you, Caroline. So is the president upset with Netanyahu now?
The president made his thoughts and concerns about this very clear, and he spoke again both to Prime Minister Netanyahu and also the Emir and the Prime Minister of Qatar after this attack. And the president has always made it very clear that he wants peace in the Middle East, just like he sought that and accomplished that in his first term. He expects all of our allies and friends in the region, that includes both Qatar and Israel, to seek peace as well. And he wants to see that happen, and he's working with all of our allies in the region to get that done.
Are there any consequences, so to speak, for Netanyahu doing this, as it sounds, against the president's wishes, or at least his belief that it was appropriate? Is there going to be any directive from the president to Netanyahu in terms of what's allowed in the future? And also, is there any concern this could jeopardize the Abraham Accords?
Look, that's a decision only the president can make. With respect to your first question, to answer your second question, as you heard from the president, he said he believes that this can serve as an opportunity for peace, and he's still actively and aggressively pursuing it with all of our allies and partners in the region. Jennifer.
Just to follow up on that, Caroline, are you able to say how often the president spoke to the Prime Minister of Israel before this? Because that's one question. And then what did he mean on Sunday when he posted, "I've given my last warning to Hamas," etc.? He wasn't talking about this strike on Doha?
No, he was not. As I told you, the Trump administration was notified by the United States military that Israel was attacking Hamas, and the president spoke to the prime minister after the attack, as well as, again, the emir and the prime minister of Qatar. And I know Secretary Rubio and Special Envoy Witkoff were present for that call with the Qataris as well. Reagan.
Thanks, Caroline. I have two questions for you on crime crackdown.
Sure.
Democrats have tried to argue that red states have higher crime rates while overlooking problems of high crime in blue cities. I'm wondering if the president would consider working with red state governors to fix high crime in blue cities like in Memphis, Tennessee.
So first of all, I want to get to the premise of your question, Reagan, which is being pushed by Democrats, that there is crime in red states. Of course, there is crime in all states, but the crime in these cities is all in cities that are run by Democrats. If you look at the list of the top 20 high crime cities in the United States, every single one, with the exception of one in Louisiana, is run by a Democrat. And these Democrats have supported the same policies that I spoke about at the beginning of this briefing, like cashless bail. If you look at a red state, Mississippi, but a Democrat-run city in that state, Jackson, in 2019, Jackson, Mississippi eliminated cash bail for virtually all misdemeanor cases. And while Jackson is not formally a sanctuary city, the state of Mississippi formally banned sanctuary cities, and this city has acted as a de facto sanctuary city for criminals and illegal aliens since 2017. Same thing, Birmingham, Alabama, a Democrat-run city in a red state. In 2017, the Birmingham City Council unanimously passed a resolution, quote, committing to establish sanctuary policies. So if you actually look at the facts from these Democrat-run cities, these are cities that are run by Democrats and by by members of the Democrat Party. These are blue cities, and they have all supported these disastrous policies which allow repeated career criminals back onto the streets to further commit acts of violence. And so to answer your question, yes, the president wants to work with anyone across this country who wants to end these horrible policies and to bring law and order to our streets. And I think that is proven by his tremendous cooperation with the mayor of Washington, D.C. and our nation's capital. And just look at the results of that. And I do have some updates for you on the D.C. crime crackdown if anyone is interested. There have been a total of 2,177 arrests made since the start of the operation on August 7th. Just last night, there were 57 arrests made in Washington, D.C. Of the 57 arrests, there were 14 illegal aliens who were arrested, many of whom had prior criminal histories. And other arrests just last night in our nation's capital, so you all can be very grateful for this. Our great men and women of law enforcement, both federal and local, working together as they should, made an arrest on a warrant for assault with the intent to kill. The subject shot 2 adult males after an altercation. They made an arrest on a warrant for an armed carjacking. The subject assaulted an adult male in the face with a firearm and then took his keys. We also made an arrest on a warrant for simple assault and the destruction of property and subsequently charged with second-degree theft. Last night in D.C., there was an arrest for possession of a controlled substance with second-degree theft. There was an arrest for possession of a controlled substance with the intent to distribute. That subject, the person is also a subject of interest in a homicide and a carjacking. Last night in D.C., we also arrested a felon in possession of a firearm who was carrying that firearm without a license. So these are the career criminals. These are the bad guys that we are picking up in Washington, D.C. every day. The president would love to do this in every Democrat-run city across the country, and he hopes that more Democrats will call the White House to allow us to help them.
One more that's D.C. specific. Congress is poised to not extend Trump's federalization of the D.C. police. Mayor Bowser signed an executive order formalizing cooperation with federal forces. You just mentioned all the success that the operation has had. Does the White House believe that the Mayor Bowser's action is enough to continue the crime crackdown?
We are very grateful for the mayor's cooperation in this effort, and we look forward to continuing to work with her and the Metropolitan Police Department. Bloomberg.
Thanks, Caroline. The president says, he'll plan to speak with Putin soon. Can we expect a phone call between the two leaders this week?
I don't have any phone calls to read out between you, the president, and any other foreign leaders. Ed.
Thanks, Carolyn. I want to ask about the benchmark revisions that came out. If you look at the revisions between March of 2024 and March of 2025, and you do a little math, it averages out to 73,000 jobs roughly per month added to the economy, less than what was thought. When can we expect the Trump administration, now their policies are rolling out, for that increase, that average to increase?
Well, let me just say something about the revisions that came out this morning. And this was one of the biggest revisions in absolute terms in decades. In the benchmark year, March 2024 to 2025, shows that the job growth was vastly weaker during the Biden administration than ever previously reported. Between this revision and last year's, job growth was actually overstated by approximately 2 million jobs. And the Biden administration stood up here and vouched for that data and told you that data was real. And when President Trump calls into question the veracity of that data, like he did before he took the oath of office and even now as president of the United States, he was ridiculed for that. And turns out this revision proves two things. Number one, the president was right. And this is why we need new leadership at the Fed. And this makes it very clear that President Trump inherited a much worse economy by the Biden administration than ever reported. And it also proves that the Federal Reserve is holding our monetary policy far too restrictive. Interest rates are too high. The Fed needs to cut the rates because of the mess that we inherited from the Biden administration.
Time frame. The president has said a year. Secretary Bessent said maybe the fourth quarter. When can we expect these numbers to increase?
Well, first, we need accurate numbers. We need truthful and honest data, which is why the president took the monumental step to try and appoint and confirm new leadership at the BLS so we can have data that we can actually rely on. And that's what the president is doing, and we hope that his nominee will soon be confirmed. Charlie.
You addressed the crime of Irina Zurika, and the president has done a lot to deliver justice for victims of crimes like that horrific stabbing. And the Epstein files are back in the news because a lot of Americans feel that that Jeffrey Epstein's victims never got justice. Does the president care about these victims? Do you think he can does he want to deliver more justice for them, and is he willing to meet with them?
The president cares about victims of all crimes, and that's why Republicans in the Trump Department of Justice have done more in terms of transparency when it comes to the Epstein case than any prior administration. And why are the Democrats all of a sudden caring about this? It's because they are desperately trying to concoct a hoax to smear the president of the United States. We have seen this time and time again. Ro Khanna and all of these other Democrats, they could have cared about those victims 4 years ago when Joe Biden was in office. They could have pushed for transparency then. Unfortunately, the Democrats are using victims as political pawns to try to smear and to push a hoax against the president of the United States. And I will get you numbers on the amount of child predators that this administration and this FBI and this Department of Justice have locked up under President Trump's leadership. We have done more than any president to protect victims of crime, especially disgusting, heinous sexual crimes. And that includes the deportation of illegal aliens who are perpetrating these crimes against innocent victims in our country right now today. And that remains a top priority for this administration.
Does the president, will he meet with the victims?
On the Doha strikes, did the president speak with Netanyahu before they were carried out? Did he urge him to not go through with it, or did they only speak afterwards?
Again, I read you a statement. The Trump administration was notified by the United States military that Israel was attacking Hamas. The president directed Special Envoy Witkoff to immediately call the Qataris. And after the attack, he spoke to Prime Minister Netanyahu.
One more.
Behind you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
About the Epstein case, would the White House support a professional handwriting expert review of the document released yesterday to prove that it's not the president's signature?
Sure, we would support that. And in fact, I have already seen many forensic analysts of signatures coming out. I believe it was the Daily Signal that published a piece with 3 separate signature analysts who said that this absolutely was not the president's authentic signature. And we have maintained that position all along. The president did not write this letter. He did not sign this letter. And that's why the president's external legal team is aggressively pursuing litigation against the Wall Street Journal, and they will continue to. Christian.
Thanks, Caroline. Following up on Ed, now that we have these revised jobs numbers, is the president concerned at all that price spikes, stemming from his tariffs through the end of the year, might actually be driving the country towards a depression or a recession? What I'm asking is he committed to these
policies now that we know how faulty the jobs data was?
The president is committed to his policies because his policies are working, Christian. And there have been a lot of people fear-mongering about inflation in this room, but it just has not come to fruition. On a monthly basis, CPI inflation has now come in at or below the market's expectation for 6 consecutive months, every month that President Trump has been in office. Overall, inflation has run at a 1.9% average pace in the president's first 6 months in office. I would have told all of you that in January, you would not have believed me, but those are the facts and those are the numbers. And we also see many other positive signs in economic indicators like real GDP. In the second quarter, it was revised up to 3.3%. That beat the market's expectation. We know there's a capital spending boom right now, which we know is one of the greatest economic indicators of job growth. We know wages are increasing at a far faster pace than they were under the previous administration. We see productivity in the second quarter was also revised up to a strong 3.3%. In total industrial production, factory output also surged. All of this means the economy is moving, people are working, people are spending money. You look at consumer spending, that is also ticking up and in the right direction. And in a large part, it's because of the incredible work the president has done in terms of energy and unlocking our energy dominance in this country. Again, these jobs, the numbers from the BLS today prove that the economy was an absolute mess, and we are working every single day to fix it, and all of those indicators I just read for you are positive sign of what is to come.
Just one more quickly on trade.
Danny.
Just wanted to get a bit of clarity on the sequence of events for the Doha attack and the notification. You said that the US military notified, if I got it right, the Trump administration was notified by the US military.
That's right.
Was the US military notified by the Israeli military, or did the US military detect an incoming Israeli attack on Qatar?
The U.S. military notified the White House and the President of the United States. That's all I have to share for you on that, Danny.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Also following up, you said that the president assured the leaders in Qatar that this would never happen again. Did he say that to the Prime Minister of Israel, and did Prime Minister Netanyahu agree to that?
The president told that to the Emir and the Prime Minister of Qatar, and the president also overstressed the importance of peace in the region in his conversation with Prime Minister Netanyahu as well. And Prime Minister Netanyahu told President Trump he wants peace and he wants it quickly. That's what the president expects to happen. The president is very clear in the statement that he just had me read, and you will all see it out on True Social very shortly, I am sure. The whole world will see it. He wants all of the hostages released out of Gaza, and he wants this war to end. Those are two clear directives that the president is making very clear for the entire world to understand. Mary.
But Qatar obviously has been helping to negotiate these ceasefire talks. Does the president think that Israel is undermining negotiations by striking Qatar? Is he concerned that Qatar's no longer going to want to play that intermediary role?
Well, I think the president addressed that in the statement. I can read the whole thing for you again. I think it's very thorough because the president wanted to address all of your questions. We wrote, unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals. However, eliminating Hamas, who have profited off the misery of those living in Gaza, is a worthy goal. So he answered that question himself.
You can't say that Israel informed the U.S.
What I can tell you is the United States military informed the Trump administration.
Thank you. A quick follow on that. Can you tell us when the U.S. military was notified, given that the largest U.S. military base is in Doha? And then I have a question on DC crime.
This morning, just before the attack, as I said earlier as well.
Okay, thank you. And yesterday, the president spoke about DC crime and talked about how there was virtually none. And then he expressed frustration about things that take place in the home they call crime. He said, they'll do anything they can to find something. If a man has a little fight with the wife, they say this is crime. See, now I can't claim 100%. Exactly what crimes was the president referring to?
He wasn't referring to crimes. That's exactly the point he was making, Weija. The president is saying that these crimes will be made up and reported as a crime to undermine the great work that the federal task force is doing to reduce crime in Washington, D.C. And I think the president has every reason to believe that, given the efforts of many reporters in this room who actively seek to undermine the president and what he's doing in our nation's capital. We all know that deep inside you all agree with this because you all live here, and I'm sure you are very grateful for the administration administration's efforts to make the city, which we all reside in, much safer for ourselves and our families. Michael.
Thank you, Caroline. Florida Congressman Randy Fine is calling for judges to face consequences if the violent repeat offenders they release go on to commit new crimes. Is that something the president supports?
It's not something I've heard the president discuss. You can ask him yourself next time you have the opportunity to. How's that?
Caroline, one more question. On Thursday, President Trump will head to the Pentagon and also to New York City in honor of the 24th anniversary of 9/11. Has the president expressed any interest on creating or having congressmen create a new 9/11 commission to answer some of the ongoing questions many Americans have about that day?
I, again, have not heard the president discuss that. You're welcome to ask him yourself, but I do know he very much looks forward to going to both the Pentagon and the Yankees game in New York City on Thursday to commemorate the 24th anniversary. As you know, the president is a New Yorker at heart. He loves the city very much. It is his home, and you'll hear more about that on Thursday when the president speaks on this himself. Kelly.
Caroline, thank you. I wanted to ask you a question about the president speaking yesterday before the Religious Liberty Commission. As you know, he's created the White House Faith Office, the Task Force on Anti-Christian Bias, and yesterday he talked about the importance of the Bible in America and the importance of prayer in America. Some people have criticized him for that in stating that he's espousing Christian nationalism. Yet the president has called on the American people to band together in praying for this nation for people of all faiths. How important is that to the Trump administration, and are there guidelines for implementing that?
Well, last time I checked, it's not just Christians who pray, it's people of all faith who pray, and that's what the president wants to protect, the religious freedom for Americans of all faith. And he spoke about that yesterday, and that's why he was very proud and excited to announce this new initiative, Pray America, encouraging all Americans to pray for our country and the goodness of our country leading up to America's 250th birthday next year. Why don't we take some from the sides? Elizabeth, go ahead.
Thank you, Caroline. I have two questions.
Sure.
First, on prayer again. Is the Trump administration looking for the forthcoming prayer guidelines to challenge existing court precedent on the right to pray in public schools?
Well, the president spoke about that yesterday, and some of the changes we are making to ensure that the religious liberties of America's students and our youth are respected in public schools. In fact, he had a young student and invited him on stage to share his story about how when this young boy spoke about biological and biblical truth in his classroom, he faced consequences for that, and how Americans of faith should not be facing consequences for expressing their religious freedom and their religious views. Not in any public school in America should that be happening. You heard the president talk about that yesterday. Sure.
Caroline, thank you so much. Regarding Israel attacking Doha, beside a phone call, what was President Trump's involvement in the attack, if any?
Look, I don't have anything more to read out for you on this other than the very lengthy and thorough statement that I have shared repeatedly now. Sure. Go ahead.
Thank you. After the Supreme Court ruling yesterday on the ICE raids in Los Angeles, some particularly non-white U.S. citizens are saying that they're going to begin carrying their U.S. passports with them at all times. What is the White House's response to Americans who are concerned about being swept up, as others have been already in these enforcement actions?
Oh my God. All right. I just can't with these people, Shady Grove. They carry their passport. Good. They carry their ID. Good. Stop it. Shady.
Yeah. Well, I think that Jesus. Everybody knows exactly where any of that is going, and God bless them. God bless every single one of them for waking the country up to the reality of who they were and who they speak for and who they actually represent. Your questions will indicate who and what it is you represent. And, there's some interesting things going on around the world today.
Wow. Shady Grove, I want to read this too. Here they go again, Shady. You ready? Let me just read this. Hakeem Jeffries, we are revisiting the January 6, 2021 insurrection and putting together a new committee. Donald Trump will be found guilty based on the evidence and will be forced to resign as a result.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that, Shady Grove. Wow.
Good luck.
I'm so tired of these frickin' people. That's going to waste more of your money, Democrats. Maybe you should investigate Roger Flynn. Watch his frickin' movie, okay?
Roger Stone.
Roger Stone, General Flynn, Charlie Flynn. I mean, yeah. Wow. Tired of it. See what you did, guys? Do you see what you guys did to our president?
They see.
All All right, Shady. Wake up, Anon. We love you guys. Shady, see you tomorrow. God bless you. Happy Tuesday. Love
Happy
you guys.
Tuesday, guys. It's going to be Wednesday soon.
Wednesday, hump day, Trump day.
Let's go.
www.mg.show. Boom.